Have you ever trusted someone with your entire life, only to discover they were living a complete lie? I was 4 hours into a lonely drive to Las Vegas, excited to see my fiancé, when I got a text that would shatter my world. It wasn't from him. It was from a friend, asking if I was okay. And then she sent a picture. A picture of my fiancé, the man I was supposed to marry, laughing with another woman. And he wasn't just with her, he'd been with her for days. While I was at work. While he was supposed to be setting up our booth. What he didn't know was that his little Vegas fling was about to cost him his job, his home, his phone, and every single shred of dignity he had left. If you know the gut-wrenching pain of betrayal, and you live for the moment when the victim becomes the victor, you are in the right place. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and get ready for a masterclass in systematic, devastating revenge that unfolded over one glorious weekend. Let's set the scene. It's years ago. My life was a whirlwind of leather, lace, and the smell of turkey legs. We were Renaissance Faire workers, my fiancé and I. We lived and breathed it. This particular weekend was the Vegas Fair, a special gig for us since we usually only worked the Southern California circuit. The plan was meticulous, like a well-rehearsed play. We had one car. My fiancé had Thursday and Friday off. I had to work my regular job until Friday evening. He was supposed to ride up to Vegas on Thursday with our booth owner, Sarah, to help her get everything set up. I would then make the 4-hour drive after work on Friday, meet them at the campsite, and we'd work the fair together. It was a good plan. Friday finally came. I rushed out of work, threw my duffel bag into my car, a detail that will become very important, and started the long, boring drive through the desert. The sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. I was tired from the week, but buzzing with excitement. I plugged my phone into the car stereo, playing our road trip mix. And then my phone buzzed. A text from Sarah. "Hey, you on your way? Everything okay?" I thought it was a little odd. "Yep. Just left. See you soon," I replied. The 3 little dots appeared. Then disappeared. Then appeared again. Something was wrong. Her next text froze the blood in my veins. "Okay, just call me when you're close." My stomach dropped. That wasn't a normal text. That was a "we need to talk" text. I pulled over at the next rest stop, my hands shaking. I called her. "Sarah, what's going on? Is he okay?" There was a long pause. "He's fine. Physically, he's fine. But, he's not here." "What do you mean he's not there? Where is he?" "He never showed up to help set up. I've been calling him for 2 days. I didn't want you to walk into this blind. A friend of mine works at the Caesars pool. She sent me this." My phone chimed. A new message. A photo. It was my fiancé. He was shirtless, lounging by a glamorous pool, a stupid grin on his face. And wrapped around him was a woman I'd never seen before. She was kissing his cheek. The timestamp on the photo was from yesterday afternoon. The world tilted. The sounds of the highway faded into a dull roar. I couldn't breathe. He hadn't just cheated. He'd orchestrated it. He'd used our work trip, our shared passion, as a cover for a pre-planned rendezvous. He'd left our friend high and dry. He'd left me driving through the desert like an idiot, dreaming of our weekend together. The pain was immediate and physical. A hot, sharp ache in my chest. But almost as quickly, it was smothered by a cold, terrifying rage. I thanked Sarah, my voice strangely calm. I got back in my car. But I wasn't driving to my fiancé anymore. I was driving to war. I worked the fair that weekend. I pasted a smile on my face, I sold trinkets, I laughed with patrons. Inside, I was a nuclear reactor going critical. I saw him on Sunday, skulking around the edges of the fair, looking for me. He had the audacity to look annoyed. "Where have you been?" he hissed when he finally found me. "I need a ride home." I just stared at him. The man I loved was gone. In his place was a stranger, a parasite. "Get in the car," I said, my voice flat. The 4-hour drive home was the longest and quietest of my life. He tried to lie. He said the girl was just a friend. He said he'd lost track of time. He said I was overreacting. Each word was another nail in the coffin of our relationship. About an hour into the drive, I'd heard enough. I pulled my engagement ring off my finger. It felt cold and heavy. "Here," I said, not taking my eyes off the road. I tossed it into his lap. "I don't want it." He sputtered. "What are you doing?" "Stop being dramatic." I didn't answer. I just drove. And I started planning. Phase 1, the stranding. We were about 30 minutes from home when I saw my chance. A large gas station with a busy convenience store. I pulled in. "I need to use the bathroom and get a coffee," I said, my voice still eerily calm. "You should get something too. It's a long drive." He bought it. He got out and stretched, heading inside. The second the door closed behind him, I moved. I turned the key. I put the car in drive. And I pulled away. I glanced in my rearview mirror just in time to see him come out of the store, a bottle of water in his hand, his mouth agape as he watched his ride home disappear down the highway. The first taste of revenge was sweet. Phase 2, the systematic takedown. But I was just getting started. As I drove, I called my cell phone provider. The phone line was in my name. I told them I'd lost my phone and needed to cancel the line immediately. Click. There went his ability to call for help. On Monday morning, I went to work. We worked at the same place. Our boss came over. "Hey, where's Fiancé?" "He's not answering his phone." I gave a casual shrug. "I don't know. I think he's still in Vegas." The look on our boss's face was priceless. He'd no call, no showed on a Monday. Click. There went his job. On my lunch break, I went to the apartment manager. I explained the situation, that my fiancé had abandoned me and I no longer felt safe with him on the lease. I asked to have his name removed and the locks changed. They agreed. Click. There went his home. My friends helped me pack every single one of his belongings into boxes. We took them to a storage unit and left them there. No lock. He could have his stuff. But I wasn't a monster. I didn't want his laptop to get stolen, so I kept that one item back at the apartment. Phase 3, the final runaround. He finally made it back to town, courtesy of his poor father who had to drive 2 hours to rescue him from that gas station. He showed up at my apartment. The manager wouldn't let him in. So he went to the storage unit, got his things, and then, desperate for his laptop, he came to our workplace. He pulled me aside. "I need my laptop. It's in the apartment." I looked at my watch, feigning deep sympathy. "Oh, man. I just got back from my lunch break. The boss is really strict today. You're gonna have to wait until I get off in, about 5 hours." He couldn't wait. His dad was waiting in the car. He left, empty-handed. That weekend, I went to my parents' house. It was strategically located halfway between my town and his dad's town. I brought the laptop. I texted his dad's number, since my ex still had no phone, and offered a seeming olive branch. "Hey, I have ex's laptop. I'm at my parents' place in town. It's closer to you, so you can come pick it up here whenever." He took the bait. On our way, he texted back. My mom and I looked at each other. "Well," she said, "I suddenly have a desperate need to go to the mall." We left. The only person home was my father. A man who had never, ever liked my ex-fiancée. A man with the patience of a rattlesnake and a glare that could strip paint. I never got the full story from my dad. He's a man of few words. But the neighbors later filled in the gaps. There was yelling. There was the sound of something smashing on the driveway. Apparently, my ex had gotten belligerent, and my dad had simply picked up the laptop and thrown it out the front door, telling him to get his garbage off our property. The justice was absolute. The story should have ended there. But years later, after I'd healed, after I'd met and married a wonderful man, my phone rang. It was a number I didn't recognize, but I knew the area code. His dad's town. I answered. Hello? It was him. His voice was weak, pathetic. Hey, it's me. I just couldn't stop thinking about you. You were the one who got away. What I did, cheating on you, it was the biggest mistake of my life. I've never found anyone like you. I listened to him babble, this pathetic echo of the man who'd caused me so much pain. He was hoping for forgiveness. He was hoping for a second chance. He was hoping I was still the person he could manipulate. I didn't say a word. I just walked into the living room, handed the phone to my husband, and said, "It's for you." My husband, who knew every detail of this saga, took the phone. He put it to his ear and said, in a deep, cheerful voice, "Hello? Who's this?" I wish I could have seen my ex's face. There was a sputtering on the other end, a frantic, "Sorry, wrong number," and then the line went dead. He never, ever reached out again. The final chapter was written. I had not only moved on, I had thrived. And he was forever stuck in the past, a lonely man who had thrown away everything for a weekend in Vegas. They say living well is the best revenge. I disagree. I think the best revenge is living well while systematically dismantling the life of the person who wronged you, piece by piece, until all they have left is the memory of their own stupidity and the sound of your happy laughter echoing from a life they can never be part of again. If you think that's a blueprint for dealing with a cheating partner, give this video a like. Let me know in the comments, what's the most satisfying, you're blocked moment you've ever executed? And subscribe for more stories of revenge that's not just hot, but ice cold and perfectly planned.